We are going to talk about how to prepare for civil services, and I'm going to start with a discussion on the Champions Trophy finals between India and New Zealand. What happened on that day? India seemed to be on an easy winning streak. That is, it appeared as if India is going to win. And then what happened? Then this happened. Now, what happened in this scene? Glenn Phillips took a catch of Shubman Gill and the entire stadium fell silent. That is because it was filled up with Indian fans, and somehow they were shocked that the play was going to take a negative turn. Why did this happen? This happened because over the years, Glenn Phillips had prepared himself for this challenge. So it is not suddenly that a ball came and he jumped and he caught the ball. For that particular event, he had worked for years together. He had done physical exercise. He had done exercises to increase his physical flexibility and all that. So a large amount of hard work had gone into that single moment of tremendous success, historical success. He was so focused on catching the ball that he did not care whether he would get injured. He did not doubt whether he would be able to catch the ball. That is because he had done this repeatedly and practiced it so much that he knew that he would be able to do this. Now, how does a civil servant aspirant succeed? The same formula that worked in case of Glenn Phillips. What is the formula? The civil servant aspirant succeeds because over the years he has prepared himself for the challenge called CS exam. So, long, systematic, persevering preparation. That's what is required. He is so focused on success that he does not care for his comforts. So that is the second quality required for success. That is exclusive, single-minded focus. He does not doubt whether he would be able to clear the exams. So confidence that comes from practice, study, repeated exercising and all that. He succeeds because, like Glenn Phillips, he brings together all his talents to gain success in the task in hand. So at that time, like we hear of Arjun, who was completely focused on the fish. This candidate is completely fixed on the task in his hand. At one stage in that match, we find that India needed 32 runs in 30 balls. Difficult task. Then KL Rahul and Hardik Pandya came, and then what happened? They had not only the skill in the game, they had also control over their nerves. So this is another quality of a person who succeeds. That is, when he is faced with a difficult task, he does not fumble, he does not dither, he does not get nervous, he maintains his mental balance, he maintains the strength of his nerves. Similarly, the CS aspirant also needs control over his nerves. He may take a paper in hand and feel that he knows nothing. Examination starts, the paper comes, looks at the paper and he says, "My God, I don't know anything at all." In the interview, he may get an impression that he has messed up everything. This is what happens so many times when we conduct mock interviews in Shankar's Academy. Somebody comes, he starts saying something, then he realizes that he has taken a wrong route, then he begins to get nervous. So such situations arise. He may start writing an essay, and after writing a few paragraphs, he may realize that he has misunderstood the topic. He may have to strike out everything and start all over again. So these are situations which arise. The challenges of life are similar in all situations. So, whatever the cricketer faces on the field is faced by the civil service candidate in his exam. A doctor takes up a complex surgery because he has prepared himself for it over decades. So preparation is what makes the difference. He has confidence in his skills, he has faith in his sincerity. How do these come? Through long, sustained effort, perseverance, and self feedback. Even if something goes wrong, he does not get nervous and give up. He somehow works to save this situation. In life, so many times things go wrong. But if you have the personality of a person who can retrieve things, you will be able to do that. He is like the Hardik Pandya who pulls the game out of defeat's jaws. You saw it that day. We had all started believing that India will lose, but then these young men came and drew out the game from a situation of defeat. He is like the CS aspirant who deftly covers up the mistake made by him in an interview. We have seen it so many times in mock interviews. Somebody goes on a wrong route, then very cleverly brings it back to his advantage. These are qualities that you develop over time. These qualities do not develop suddenly. We are not born with them. It requires hard work, perseverance, training, repeated mistakes, and correction of those mistakes to develop all these traits. So the CS aspirant needs what? Now this is what you need to focus on. Number one, thorough preparation. If you want to succeed, tell yourself, I'll prepare myself very thoroughly. Confidence in his sincerity of effort. How will that confidence in sincerity come? Supposing all your friends are celebrating somebody's birthday and boozing, and you say, no, I'll not go there because I have to focus on my exam. That is what will give you confidence in your own sincerity. Self-discipline, very important. What is self-discipline? Self-discipline is when you do something which you know you should do and avoid something that you know you should not do. Ability to do a lot of memorizing even if it seems boring. Civil service examination requires a lot of memorizing because that is what you are being selected for. Once you become a collector, once you become an SP, you will have to memorize a lot of details. So you are tested for that, you are trained for that. You need good physical health and stamina. Supposing for 20 days before the exam you have loose motions, will you be able to do well? No. If you get tired, your eyes begin to ache after some studying, what will happen? Will you be able to do well? No. So these are all the traits that you should develop. It's not a simple one slot effort. It's a multiple, very complex effort where you have to focus on your health, your mental strength, your discipline, your ability to memorize things. Lots of things are involved. You need perseverance. What is perseverance? That is, in spite of inability to succeed, you should continue. That is the difference between patience and perseverance. Patience is there even when we don't make an effort. You go to the hospital, there is a long line, you sit patient. But that's not perseverance. Perseverance is when you try something. You're not able to do it, but you don't give up. That is perseverance. So there should be perseverance. Good alternative plans. Why should there be good alternative plans? Does it mean that you're not sure of getting success? Not at all. You should have good alternative plans because that will take away nervousness from you. Otherwise, what you think, if I'm not able to succeed, what will happen? So if you have good alternative plans, you'll say, okay, if by any chance I'm not able to succeed, let us say that they cancel the exam for some reason, there's an earthquake, or I fall down, I get injured, I'm not able to appear, even then there are doors open to me. So I'm not going to be completely demolished. So that is why you need good alternative plans. You need a clear strategy. Unless you form a strategy, you will not be able to work systematically. And then you should have guidance from those who know things. Because if on your own strength you keep doing something, you may not be able to succeed because you may do a lot of effort, but not in the right direction. When you appear for civil services, the effort doesn't go waste. There are many side benefits of preparing for civil services. What are the side benefits? You gain knowledge about various subjects. You develop confidence in your own sincerity. You develop self-discipline. You gain the ability to memorize. Your engagement with work has a healthy impact on your body and mind. You develop perseverance, you become a strategist, you develop a network of inspiring people by interacting with them. So, there are many people who have not been able to clear the civil services, but through the process of preparation, they have come out as much better persons, and then they get into some other job because of the qualities that they have acquired because of this. The civil service preparation makes you a more accomplished person. It makes you a person with better general awareness, a person better at organized thinking, and better at expressing himself. How should you plan your preparation? The first step is getting tuned. So, I will give you a strategy where you start at the age of, let us say, about 16 to 17, and then step by step how you should schedule your preparation. That's what I'm going to tell you. So the first step is getting tuned to the new environment. Let us say that these are holidays after +2, you are 16 or 17 years old. So what should you do? You start preparing now. And during that preparation, what will happen? There will be a slight shift from your subject, which might be science or commerce or something, to general awareness. So what will happen now? You will start gathering knowledge about general things. There will be a shift from, let us say, watching Netflix to watching news channels and discussions. There will be a shift from entertaining reels to serious YouTube channels. Read one or more newspapers. You can get e-papers these days. Newspapers make you aware of your surroundings. So let us say you are the boy who is 16, 17, has just done his +2. You may not be aware of what is going on in your surroundings in the society. Once you start reading the newspaper, that awareness will come. Pick up good words and expressions from the newspapers, because newspapers have good articles, very well written articles, so you will be able to pick out good expressions and words that you do not know. Read the editorials and other articles on the editor's page, middle page that is. Use articles to develop your thinking skills. There was a book in whose preface the author has written, a book is an instrument to think with. What does that mean? That means if you take up a book, if you just keep reading it without applying your mind, then you will not be able to use it properly. So, what should you do when you are reading an article in the Hindu, let us say, or you are reading a book? You should constantly question. The editorial says something, you say, no, I don't agree. This is not correct. This is my belief. This is my opinion. So question him. That is how your thinking will develop. Newspaper has the advantage of giving continuity. So what happens is, today you read that there is going to be an agitation by so-and-so party. Tomorrow when the newspaper comes, you will look for further developments in that issue. Has the agitation taken place, or is it going to take place, or has it been cancelled, and all that. Newspaper uses the same words again and again. This is what I experienced when I came to Tamil Nadu in 1984 and started learning Tamil. So somebody suggested you should read Dinatandi because it's a very simple newspaper using very simple Tamil. So what would happen? I would read the news and there I would come across words like Manilam, Amaichar, Thorand, Kootam, Poratam, Urai, etc. And next day again, the same words would come. Poratam nadandada nadakvilliya, poratam nadakapogirada illiya. So same words would be coming again and again. So newspaper give you this advantage that you come across the same words in different situations, in different contexts. You should read NCERT books. NCERT books are like a summing up of all GK that you require. The NCERT books will help you to form a bird's eye view of topics, and then you can expand that knowledge with the help of Wikipedia, Google, ChatGPT, Perplexity, etc. You should take notes and identify topics. What should you note down? Maybe names, places, events, dates, etc. And you should identify topics. Frame questions based on whatever you are reading. Also note good and meaningful expressions, as I said. Revise the notes from time to time. Now this is a problem which many candidates face. They keep taking notes. Sometimes they copy the entire article also, but they don't look back it again. Look back at it again. So you should keep revising. Then we go to the next stage. Let us say you have become now 18 to 19 years. By this stage, you should be like a swimmer who loves to swim in the ocean of knowledge. By this time, you should have acquired a lot of knowledge and you like to gain more and more knowledge. Knowledge gives you an inner happiness that urges you to go deeper and deeper. You are able to fully understand the drift of articles on the editorial page. You have your own views about important issues. At this stage, you need to take these steps. Now that is the next stage of preparation. What steps you should take? Associate with others who are preparing for the exams. Associate wherever possible with the trainers, serving officers, and generally with brilliant people. So now you should start moving into a circle of people who think, who discuss, who are intelligent, and who feel pride in being intelligent. Nee 2 peg podren na 10 peg podren na, that should not be your goal. Go through competitive magazines. Then you should also start a kind of skill development which is going to be very, very necessary at this stage. Around this time when you are, let us say, turning 20, what you should do is you should develop organized thinking, organized writing, organized speaking. What is organized thinking? Mostly when we are speaking, we jump from topic to topic. So you need to train yourself to split the topic into subtopics, and this process should start taking place automatically. Initially, maybe you'll have to take notes, you'll have to write something split, but gradually it will become a part of your habit, especially if you do a lot of writing practice. You should have discussions and debates. You should develop analytical capability. Take up a topic, analyze it into its basics. The monster called current affairs is something everybody is scared of. Many candidates find current affairs the most daunting. While you can draw boundaries around other topics, current affairs appear to be like an ever expanding ocean. That's a problem with current affairs. Every day new things are happening. So what should you memorize, what you should avoid, that is what bothers us. Some tips on current affairs: focus on government schemes, because you are going to be a civil servant, you will be expected to know what schemes the government has brought, what are the elements, what are the conditions, etc. Familiarize yourself with the international organizations like ILO, UNESCO, etc. Study previous year's papers and try to guess what type of questions are usually asked. Become a paper setter. So if you start setting a paper, you will be able to identify topics. Now we come to the final stage, that is the battle for which you had been preparing yourself. So let's say by now you are 20 to 21 years of age. By now you have acquired vast knowledge about all topics, including current topics, good writing skills and thinking skills, organized thinking and organized speaking. So what should you do now? One question is whether you should join an academy or study on your own. What are the primary tasks that you have to do at this stage? One is you have to select your optionals and start working for these. Then you have to work on the essay, which is a very important and very difficult part of the exam. Start consolidating all your knowledge by arranging it around topics. So far you had been gathering knowledge, now you start arranging it along topics. And you can use the computer to arrange knowledge around topics. Now, as much time should be spent on revision as on new study, because you have already gathered information, now you have to consolidate. Should you join a training academy? Of course, this is a very personal question, largely depending upon your finances and other logistic issues. But I will try to help you answer this question. What does the training academy do? A training academy helps you select optionals. This is very important because you may not know which optionals are going to get you good marks, which optionals are easy to prepare, which are difficult and all that. So the academy will help you to identify good optionals and then help you to identify the topics. A good academy makes your preparation for the essay more organized. They will teach you how you should build up your idea, how to create paragraphs, what is a topic sentence, and all that. In general studies, the academy helps you focus on the important and avoid the unimportant. It provides atmosphere for discussion, correction, and self-assessment. This is very important because what happens is, much of the time, unless you interact with others, unless you interact with those who are trained to train you, you may not know where you stand. You may be very happy that you are preparing yourself very well, but the preparation may not be that good. Now, to conclude, a year or so before the preliminaries, you should have all the knowledge required for clearing the exams. From this time on, the focus should be on consolidating the preparation. If you follow this, you will not feel nervous and start getting and start forgetting whatever you have learned so far. Now, let me tell you two bits of information about myself. One website I have created, and I'll be putting up a lot of material on that. The link to the website is here, pragatisheel.net, /myweb, /network of excellence, /index HTML. Since I'm going to give you this video, you'll be able to get this link. Then there is a book that I wrote about a year ago, that is in May 2024. The name of this book is Threshold of Life. And in this book, I have tried to show how you are at a stage where you need to take a lot of decisions and where the youngsters usually get confused. So if you get this book, it would help you to wade through some of these confusions. I have given the email ID of the publisher. His name is Partarahan. So you can think of buying it and reading it. And if you read it and if you have any questions, you can contact me and I'll try to help you with your questions. Thank you very much for listening so patiently. Now, at some stage we are also going to have a question answer session. So if you have any questions related to whatever I have said, I'll be very happy to answer those questions. So please think of whatever is confusing you. Thanks a lot.